Hebrew revision, Hebrew nouns, adjectives, and demonstrative pronouns. Hebrew nouns function like English nouns. Primitive nouns: Av for father, Em for mother, Dam for blood. Nouns from verbs: Melek from malak, Davar from dibber, Evet from avad. Nouns from nouns: Israeli from Israel, Mistri from Misraim. When it comes to plural nouns, we need to know the endings. For masculine plural nouns, the ending is Irek Yud Mem, Im. For feminine, the ending is Holem Vav Tau. And for dual nouns, the ending is accented Pata, Irek Yud Mem. First, we have to understand these endings: Im, Ot, Im. And there are certain nouns that are masculine in nature but have a feminine ending. For example, Makomot, that comes from Makom, which means place. Avot, which comes from Av, which means father. Avot means fathers. Shemot, which comes from Shem and means names. Kolot, which comes from Kol, means voices. These are all carrying ot endings, but they are all masculine nouns. Feminine nouns with masculine endings: Nashim, which means women, and Arim, which means cities. Some nouns like Dor, for generation, can take both masculine and feminine endings: Dorim or Dorot. About how to add these endings, we have discussed in the chapter on shegolates, but we will discuss more on this in the next chapter, which is about the adjectives. So now we will look at the adjectives. Adjectives, there are two kinds: attributive and predicative. Predicative will come before the noun, and they are translated with the to be verb in between. Predicatives do not necessarily agree with the definiteness of the noun. Gender and number they will agree, but definiteness they will not agree. Attributive adjectives come after the noun. They agree in both gender and number and in definiteness with the nouns that they describe. So the agreement in definiteness and a position of the noun before or after would help us to understand, of the adjectives before or after would help us to understand whether it is predicative adjective or attributive adjective. Now let us look at the endings of plural adjectives. This would help us also while we work out the endings of plural nouns. Plural endings, masculine is irek yod mem, feminine is holem vav tav, and dual ending is accented pata irek yod mem. So it is the same thing, ot, im, and aim. From the masculine adjectives, which is the original form, we can also form the feminine singular adjectives by adding kamet's he. So this is how these additions occur. In monosyllabic words with unchangeably long vowels like surek and holem vav and irek yod and sereyod. These are unchangeably long vowels. When there is an unchangeably long vowel in the adjective, we just add those endings. There is nothing much to be done. So for instance, tov, which means good, is an adjective which has an unchangeably long vowel, holem vav. So this is how it would go. Tov is the masculine singular adjective. Tova with kamet's he is the feminine singular. Tovim is the masculine plural, and tovot is the feminine plural. We just add those endings. Suppose we have short vowel in the adjective, and if the last letter of the adjective is a guttural, then we need to lengthen the short vowel. For instance, ra, which means evil, has a short vowel called pata. So in the masculine singular state, it is ra only. But when it comes to feminine singular, when we add the kamet's he ending, it becomes ra, ra, ah. And when we add the masculine endings, masculine plural endings, it becomes ra-im. So the patak is changed to kamet's. And when we add the feminine plural endings, it becomes ra-ot. So this is about the short vowel adjective with the guttural ending. Now we look at the short vowel adjective with a non-guttural ending. What we need to do is just add a dagesh forte. So rav is a short vowel adjective, and the end is beit, which is a non-guttural. So what we do is add a dagesh forte when we add these endings. So when we add the feminine singular endings, it becomes rabah. There is no extension involved, just adding the dagesh forte. So the vowel is still pata only. When we add the masculine endings, masculine plural ending, it becomes rabim, rabim. And when we add the feminine plural endings, it becomes rabot. So this is about the monosyllabic adjectives. So monosyllabic adjectives with unchangeably long vowel, just add the endings. With short vowels, non-guttural endings, add dagesh forte. Short vowels, guttural endings, extend or elongate the first vowel to comments. Now we look at the bisyllabic vowels and their endings. Bisyllabic vowel adjectives usually have comments like gado, gado, hakam, hazin. Everyone has, or each one of these adjectives have comments in the first letter, under the first letter. So what do we do when we add these endings? We first volatilize these comments to shava, and then we add the endings. So zakin, which ends with noon, the changes are like this: zeke na, zeke nim, zeke not. Note, the first comments has been volatilized as the endings were added to a simple vocal shava because of the accent that falls on the last syllable. Now we look at hakam. Hakam would become he kama, he kamim, and he kamot. The first letter here is a guttural, so it will carry a composite shava. It was earlier a kamits, and the kamits is changed to composite shava, which is hatif patah. Now there is another kind of adjectives which ends with segolhe, like yafe, and in these cases we just need to remove the segolhe ending and replace it with the feminine singular or masculine and feminine singular endings. So what do we do? Yafe becomes yafa in feminine singular, yafim in masculine plural, and yafot in feminine plural. So this is how we add the endings to the bisyllabic adjectives. Two changes are there. First change is add the ending. Second change is volatilize the first kamats to shava or to composite shava, depending upon whether it is a non-guttural or guttural that starts the bisyllabic adjective. And in the case of segolhe, remove segol he and replace it with the ending. That is about the bisyllabic adjectives and the addition of endings to them. Now we look at the demonstrative pronouns and independent personal pronouns. Independent personal pronouns from first common singular to third feminine plural are ani, which can also be anokhi, atta with the comets in the middle, and a dagesh forte, atte with the sheva and a dagesh forte in the middle, who and he. Then we have first common plural to third feminine plural, enahinu or nahinu or nahnu or anu, anahinu, anahnu, nahnu or anu, and that is the first common plural. It could be any of these. So just remember the nu ending, and then second masculine plural onwards, attem with a dagesh forte and a sego, atten, dagesh forte and a sego. Then hem and hen. Remember, hen and hem, they have sere, not sego. So it could also be written as hemma and henna with the sere, with the he, and dagesh forte inside the mem or noon with the comets. So henna, hemma. So this is how it is: ani, atta, atte, who, he, anu, attem, atten, hemma, henna. From first common singular to third feminine plural. Now we look at the demonstrative pronouns. This in feminine is ze, in masculine is ze with a segol, and in feminine it is zot. That is who and he, masculine and feminine respectively. These is LA and LA, same thing, in masculine and feminine respectively. LA has Aleph with Sere and Lamed with Segol, and there is also a dagesh forte, LA, LA. Then we have those, which is written as hem with a sere, hen with a sere, hemma or henna, as we described before. So these are the demonstrative pronouns, and these demonstrative pronouns can also be used as attributive or predicative depending upon their position and definiteness. If they match the noun in definiteness and they are placed after the noun, it is attributive. Attributive after, that much we can remember. A and A. And if they do not agree with the definiteness, or they are placed before the noun, they act as predicative. And if they are predicative, it would be translated as a to be verb. And they thus form the verbless sentences. So this is about nouns, adjectives, and demonstrative pronouns. I hope it would help you in your revision. If there are any mistakes, please forgive me. The intention is to help you revise the Hebrew that you've learned. God bless you.